evening, everyone. How are you doing? I am so excited to be live and in color tonight, right here in my living room. And tonight, I have a special guest. You can zoom in now, B. I have a special guest tonight. My beautiful, beautiful mother. My beautiful mother is here with me tonight, and I am so excited that she is on the live with us tonight. I'm going to introduce her as Dr. Greer tonight, and I'm going to try my best not to put her in mama role. But say hello to our audience tonight.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited about being here with you. Thank God for all of you.
All right, so we're going to get to it. Those of you that are joining us tonight, I started my She Up ministry 2 years ago, and God is just, I'm one that I like to wait. I like to chat with God. I like to pray. I like to see his direction. So I have been building in these past 2 years, and I just believe that what God is doing in this season,
Yes.
it's just amazing. Like, it's just blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. So, excuse that, y'all. But the family decided they want to come home at 8 o'clock. All right. So, listen, tonight is a relaxed night. We're going to talk about the conference, and we're going to talk about some amazing things. What I need you to do for me right now is to share this live.
Yes.
If you could just share this live and tag about 2 to 3 people. We want to get those numbers up so that we can get some more activity going on in the group.
Yes.
Let me get this shared.
Please tag.
I know it's raining here in Georgia, so I know you just came out of traffic, y'all. And let me just give you something funny right quick. So you know the dynamics of me and my mom's relationship. We right now we like sister girls. You know, when you growing up, you know mama ain't your best friend. You know, but she's my best friend now, and she called and said first of all she knows she stay in Stone Mountain. And you got to come all the way to McDonough, Georgia. She called me and said, "You got me out here in this rain." I mean, I'm on the phone like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Tell you to turn around and go home?
Right.
But let me tell you, she a G. When we were growing up, Mama used to have a cup of coffee in one hand, a cup of oatmeal in the other hand, driving with one knee. We were killing birds and squirrels trying to get to the church. And now she can't drive in a little bit of rain.
Tell Mama secrets. Okay.
You can't drive in a little bit of rain, you know. But I'm thankful tonight that she made it. But we're going to delve right in. Good evening to all of you. Your sister is on. Aunt Betty is on tonight. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the live tonight. You got saved at the age of 14.
Yes, I did. Yes.
You got saved at the age of 14, and she started preaching at the age of 14. Just to give you a little background of Apostle Greer, she's been pastoring for 40 years.
Yes.
59 years in ministry.
Yes.
And listen, I've only been pastoring for 8 years, and I'm just saying, people is folding up churches every single day. And I can attest to this. It is not the same people that it was 15 years ago. It's not the same climate that it was 5 years ago. Not the same climate as it was 2 years ago. Things are different now. We have to use different methods. Jesus is the same yesterday as it was today, forevermore.
Yes.
But we have to use different methods now. But you've been pastoring for 40 years, but 59 years in ministry.
Yes.
And I just want to say that you have definitely been a tremendous blessing to people everywhere. You're my mama, but you have mothered people everywhere across the world. And we've had to sacrifice as children, our parents, because my dad was a bishop in the Lord's church. I'm a PK.
Yes, you are.
That's all I know, y'all. I think I was born on the pew. But I'm a PK, and I just want to say that you have definitely been a tremendous blessing to the Atlanta community for years. You've paid rent, you paid utility bills, you fed the homeless, you've assisted with job placement.
Yes.
You was an ambassador for many years for Toys for Tots, and you've blessed thousands of families during the holidays. You're a dean. You're a dean of the School of the Great Commission.
Bible college.
And wait a minute, y'all. Let me tell you this. My mom is smart. She's a smart girl. And I'm saying I don't flip flop now. I flip from Dr. Greer to Mama now. She's a very smart woman. She graduated valedictorian of her class.
Yes, I did.
She's an amazing person inside and out. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mother, but I've seen her in low places, and I've also seen her at the top of the mountain. But we are here tonight because I am hosting my very first conference, my very first women's conference in August 14th through the 17th.
Yes.
And you are on the panel for the Saturday. The panel is the wise woman builds brunch.
Yes.
Okay, and it is indeed an honor to have you here with me tonight, because I've been front row of your tragedies as well as your triumphs.
Yes, you have.
And I'm reminded of the scripture Proverbs 31, and it says, "Her children shall rise up and call her blessed." And you, Apostle Greer, you, Dr. Greer, have truly been a blessing in our lives. Your positive influence, your virtuous qualities makes me and us who we are today. All right.
Thank you so much.
So I'm just thankful. That's my introduction. Before we get to cutting up on this live, that's my introduction. Cause my mama will throw a pocketbook in a minute. But
Okay.
so let's get down to what you're here for. You have written 2 books.
Yes.
Okay. You've written 2 books, and it's amazing. They're both called How to Graduate from People College. Now, she wrote the first book
2015.
in 2015, and God went through downloading.
No, sure wasn't.
He wasn't through downloading.
2020.
And in 2023, she came out with a part 2.
Yes. How to graduate with honors.
How to Graduate with Honors. Now, can you just briefly tell us about the first book, How to Graduate from People College?
Well, the first book God gave to me and downloaded because I was born in an environment of rejection and causal rejection and depression. I was born where I felt like that I had to prove myself and be people approval and try to be and make people laugh when I was going to school, but to be popular. And all this is like part of my life. And God downloaded me and said, it's time to graduate from People College. I think I was about 30 years old when he told me that. And then the download came in 2015. What you graduating from? You're graduating from courses called rejection, people pleasing, addiction approval, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and all of these things that we deal with within ourselves, but we nobody know it, but we're crying, saying, listen, how can I get there? This is what we're talking about in this book, how to graduate from that. Because unless you graduate, and the 3 things that you need to graduate from in the book is me, myself, and I.
Wait a minute. Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of me because we're gonna get there.
Okay.
That's in my notes tonight.
Okay.
Can I just be honest right quick? Let me just be transparent.
Come on.
Y'all know that we would buy some books, right? We would buy some books, and we would buy those books. We will support our fellow people, but we'll put those books down and we won't pick them up.
That's true.
And I'm telling you, I have a beautiful book collection. I do. I have a beautiful book collection. Books all on the prophetic. Books on praise and worship. Books on self-help. I'm the guru. You need a book, I can go and find it right now.
That's right.
But I gotta be transparent. I am my mother's biggest supporter. And whatever she sells, I'm gonna buy it. But guess what, y'all? I didn't read the book.
All right.
The book came out in 2015.
Didn't it?
I bought the book. I picked the book up the other day.
All right.
And I said, I guess I better read the book.
I guess you had to.
I guess I better read the book. Because how am I going to interview her and I don't know what the book is talking about? The first chapter, tears began to run down my face. Tears began to run down my face because I could feel every emotion that she was writing about. That's why I said you can't get ahead tonight because I got to talk to you about this. You said in your book, in the first one, that she had to get free from the approval addiction.
Yes.
When we seek other people's opinions,
Yes.
That makes us slaves to the will
That's right.
of the people. And you find yourself overcompensating.
Yes.
You find yourself giving of yourself in ways that you like, how in the world did I get here?
Right.
You know,
Right.
Because you try to, you thrive off of approval.
Right.
Can you talk about that?
It comes from a root spirit of rejection. It comes from a spirit of I don't add up where they are. So that's where you get the addiction approval. I gotta do this to get the approval. That's why so many people have a place where they don't find themselves. They get lost in trying to get people approval, trying to see, do I add up to this one? Do I add up to that one? Even marriages, do I add up? It's called addiction approval. And you're addicted to that because you don't know, and it comes from the root spirit of rejection. Because you're born in rejection and you were born in a low self-esteem, that sprouts that addiction approval.
So this was my eureka moment. And I'm going to switch gears right here because this is a prophetic moment right here. As I was reading the book, y'all, I think the first book is about, hold on a second. It's about eight chapters.
8 chapters, yes.
I read the book in about an hour, all 8 chapters. And when I was reading the book, I began to see my life paralleled in the book.
That's right.
And let me tell you how this worked, y'all. I'm working on a manuscript myself that we're going to release
All right.
in my women's conference. And it's called A Healed Perspective.
Oh,
Sometimes you don't know where all of this came from
yeah.
until you start asking questions.
Come on.
And let me just say, God brought me to this place, and the subtopic of my conference is I had to fight to get here.
Oh,
And sometimes you don't know why you're fighting. You don't know what this is you're fighting against. But there's a chapter in my book that talks about the complexity of the womb.
that's good.
And in your book, you said that your mother had you at the age of 13.
Years old.
At 13, you basically a baby yourself.
Yes. Yes.
You a baby yourself.
Yes.
Not to mention the stuff that she had to deal with up until that point. Being that I think during that time, they were still dealing with segregation,
That's right.
racism
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
So that was an automatic overtone over her life.
Yes.
Those were automatic feelings that rose up, okay?
Yes.
So she got pregnant with you at 13,
10 years old.
had you, your grandmother raised you,
Yes.
and then your mother started having children back to back.
When I was 8 years old.
When you were 8 years old, took you from your grandmother,
Yes.
and started to depend on you to help raise and rear your siblings.
Devastating, yes.
It was devastating for you,
Yes.
okay? Now, look at this right here. By the time you realized that you had dealt with insecurity,
Thank you.
by the time you realized that you dealt with the root of rejection, by the time you realized that you had dealt with all of these feelings that you were dealing with in your life, feelings of inferiority,
Yeah.
insecurities, low
Yes.
self-esteem, you were an adult.
Yes.
right? Listen at this, y'all.
Yes.
You were an adult when you realize I need to be free from this
Yes.
because this thing has kept me hostage. This thing has kept me as a slave. This thing has held me to man's opinions. I have lost out on opportunities.
Yes.
I have lost out on closed doors because of what I faced in my life. And I didn't have the courage
Right.
to address these things. Okay, so by the time you realized you needed to be free, you was having me.
That's right.
You were conceiving me.
I was conceiving.
So in your womb held all of this stuff
Yes.
that you were dealing with in your life.
Yes.
So by the time you realized that you needed to be free from
You
insecurities,
already had it.
it was already in my blood.
That's right.
It was already in my DNA. So while I was matriculating through puberty,
Well, go ahead.
while I was matriculating through life's, hold on. While I was matriculating through life's cycles,
Yes.
while I was turning 8 and not realizing what was going on with my body,
Yes.
while I was going through middle school and dealing with issues with the girls at school,
Come on.
while I was going to high school and dealing with the issues of high school, didn't realize that I was dealing with insecurity, low self-esteem, people trying to please and appease others. It was in my blood because my mother was dealing with it.
Yes.
But by the time she realized she needed to be free, I was already struggling with it.
Struggling with it.
I was already struggling with it. So let me put a pause right there. That's why we got to talk about things.
Yes. Yes.
And we got to, when we realize that we come to a point in our lives that we got to be free from stuff,
Come on.
that is the moment we got to denounce.
Come on.
That is the moment that we got to disannul.
Well, go ahead.
That's the moment we got to reject these things.
Yes.
That's in our blood. Bishop Jakes preached a message years ago, the blood speaks.
Yes.
Anytime you go to a doctor, and I don't mean to take over the
That's
show.
all right. You did. Go ahead.
Anytime
Yes,
you go to a doctor and something is wrong with you, what's the first thing that they do? They order blood work. Because whatever's going on with you, it's going to show up in your blood.
Yes.
Come on.
Come on.
So by the time I turned 23 and got married, I was dealing with fear. I was dealing with insecurities. I was dealing with rejection.
Yes.
And I didn't know that I needed to be free from it. By this time, my mama done got free.
Yes.
She ready to write books. She ready to preach all over the world. But now I'm dealing with it.
Yes.
And guess what? I'm pregnant with Benjamin.
Yes.
And so my womb
Yes.
is carrying the same thing.
Yes.
And if we don't talk about
We
this
don't
stuff,
talk about it.
one thing I noticed too, let me say this. Rape and molestation runs through our bloodline.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Rape and molestation runs through our bloodline. And the reason why it continued,
You won't.
because we didn't talk about it.
Didn't talk about it. Renounce it.
And anything that you don't reveal
Thank you.
will continue
In your bloodline.
in your bloodline. You talking about breaking generational curses. Now wait a minute. Now, you are the apostle of deliverance.
Yes.
Now that is your strong
Expertise.
gifting,
It is.
your expertise. You know how to navigate in and out
Yes.
of deliverance. You know how to you know how to walk people through.
Yes. Welcome back and bring them back.
But we can be so powerful
Yes.
and we can be so anointed. So that's why I picked up the book. And when I read the first chapter, tears began to run down my face because I could see my whole life paralleled in hers.
Yes.
And listen, y'all, I've missed out on opportunities in my life because I've dealt with things
Thank you.
in my life I didn't deal
You
with.
have to do it. You're right.
Some of us are dealing with rage and anger
Yes.
because you ain't dealt with that stuff. That stuff is in your blood.
It's in the bloodline.
You got to be regened.
Mm-hmm.
God wants to change our DNA.
He does. That's how deliverance started. He goes in and changes the flow of the DNA. My God, he transferred it's a blood transfusion. And if you don't talk about what you've been through with your children, and I didn't with you, well, I know some people now that won't talk about the rape, that when the person raped them. So you got a rape spirit going, generational curse going down your family line from one to the other. But when I did notice, I've noticed that everybody in my family on my mother's side got pregnant at an early age. So I decided to myself, I said, this is not going to happen to me. I'm stopping this right now before it get to my daughter. And I did. It's some things, but you got to kick a halt to, renounce it. Renounce that spirit of getting pregnant before you get out of school, before you get out of high school. And I made a road clear for that. But the inside of me still needed healing until I found somebody who walked me back down and brought me back and brought me deliverance. And I see what was going on. And here you are. My God, you're a testimony. You're my testimony.
Right. I'm
Yes,
your
you
testimony. And let me tell you this, y'all.
Yeah, testimony.
Let me tell you this. It surfaced again a few weeks ago
Okay.
in my son.
Okay.
So you got free. I got free.
Now here he's got.
You got healed.
Come on.
I got healed.
Now he got to get healed.
And he said something to me the other day. He said, they didn't prefer me. I don't measure up.
There's low self-esteem. Okay.
So guess what? I began to see the same cycles trying to come through my blood.
Come on.
And I began to pray for him. And I began to denounce
That's what it
those
is.
spirits over him. And I began to speak to him in confidence,
Yes.
to build his confidence,
Right.
to give him more responsibility, to show him that he can do it,
Thank you.
that he won't lose, that he won't fail.
Yes.
So this book is so needed because a lot of us, and it's a trap. It's a spiritual trap
Right.
that we get stuck in
Right.
because we're afraid, really, that we're going to fail.
See, life is a course. It's like going to college. I know people don't want to see it, but it is. And the classes that you're taking is fear, low self-esteem, rejection, not measuring up, people pleasing. These are courses and classes that you have to pass so you can be able to do what? To move forward. And a lot of things, people keep going back on the same course, the same class, because you have to have a maintenance plan. And when you go to school, you have a maintenance plan. You study. You study and you get down what you need so you can pass that class. You want to pass with an A or a B. You don't want to pass with no D. You want to pass with really A plus if you have to. But this is how you do that. How A plus? By talking about it. By doing what? Looking at your family line and rebuking the curses, generational curses that coming down through the family line. We have to do that. People are right now walking around with offenses, walking around with anger issues, bitter because mama was bitter, daddy was bitter. They never dealt with it. It's time for us to deal with our bitterness, deal with what's causing it, the fear, the anxiety. My God, what? The frustration, the animosity. It has to be dealt with within ourselves. That's just there are courses that you have to pass to graduate from life college, which is you got to, or you're not going to make it. So many people are pushing up daisies. They never graduated. What I mean by people pushing up daisies, my God, we went to their funerals. They never graduated. But we have a chance to graduate from this thing that calls us to what? To go backwards, to make bad grade marks, to want to step in somebody else's shoes, and you know that's not where you're. Fear. But God has told us He has not given us the spirit of fear, but power, love, and sound mind. 3 things, my God, to counteract fear. So we have to use this here, what God has given us, and we have to understand who we are. Deal with what's inside you. This is what the book is about. This is what these books are about. The first volume and the second. To deal with what you were born with. Because that David said with what? Born in sin.
Shaped in iniquity.
Shaped in iniquity. And then, come on, in sin our mother conceived us. It's there. But we have to deal with it. Then we get mad because we want to say, I would have done better. If you would have done better, you dealt what's inside you. And that's what this book is all about. How to graduate from the addiction approval, how to graduate from the rejection. And so many people walking in rejection, they become narcissists and everything else. Deal with what's inside you so it will not destroy you.
Yes.
It won't destroy your children and your children's children. Yes, you may have all the money in the world, but it don't stop that boy, that girl from being what? My God, a prisoner, or stopping my God from being a prisoner of their own mind. And in this book, it'll show you that your past is not supposed to be your life sentence.
It's not.
It's supposed to be an experience. But people making their life sentence, got the key and won't open the door and get out.
And let me say this before I forget. I want to give you permission to do and be all that God has called you to be.
Thank you.
Sometimes we can allow all of this stuff that we're talking about tonight keep us boxed in.
Yes.
We are sometimes the enemy.
Thank you.
We are.
Thank
For
you.
real.
Right.
We are sometimes the enemy because not only do we say we don't measure up, or sometimes we just walk in fear and say we don't, but some of us really are gifted.
Right. But how to do it?
You're good at what you do. You can sing and open a business.
Sure can.
You can prophesy and be a real estate
Thank you.
mogul.
Thank you.
God didn't just make us one-dimensional.
He didn't. But we do with our own minds.
But those roots,
Thank you.
and let me tell you this, there's no way you can cut the tree down
Ooh, without getting the root.
without getting the root.
Come on.
Because if you don't get the root, the tree gonna come back up.
That's right.
And all it takes is a situation
Thank you.
that would pull the scab off,
Come on here.
that will cause you to relive
That thing over and over.
that
again.
thing over and over again. I'm writing a book now about a healed perspective. What is healing?
Come on.
Healing is when you get, everybody has a different path of healing.
Right.
But what is true healing? True healing is when you can hear about it.
Right.
When you can when you can experience it again and it don't hurt no more.
There you go. There you go.
And it don't hurt no more.
There you go. And healing is spontaneous, Pastor. But deliverance is a process.
Okay, that's the chapter I was trying to get to. woman.
Deliverance is a process.
Okay, the chapter I was trying to get to was me, myself, and I.
There you go.
That's your deliverance chapter
Thank
in this
you.
book.
It is.
Y'all, that's the deliverance chapter in this book. You stated in that chapter, you said you cannot excel in life until you know what you are dealing with from birth.
Thank you. Thank you. And that from birth has three areas it hides in. Me, myself, and I. Me, I'm sad. I'm rejected. Myself, I live in fear. You've got to graduate from these three areas of your life, because one or the other gonna get you stuck again.
See, this is so rich. This is so rich. This is so rich. Y'all open them books that we buy.
Please.
Please open them books. No, don't be like me. Don't just be collecting these books. Open the books. The books
Yes.
are pure downloads
Yes, it's
from
wonderful.
that God
Yes.
is given to these people to give to us.
Yes.
Let me do this because we're about to get ready to get off the live. How can we purchase these books? These are Mom's books, y'all.
Amazon. Go to Amazon.
Amazon.
Put in.
She's gonna put that up. Go to Amazon and type in "How to Graduate from People College"
or Dr. Janice Greer.
or Dr. Janice Greer. She is on there. The link, you can go back. Somebody say, I hope it's a part 2. I hope it's a part 2.
It's part 1 and 2.
Okay, so the book is volume 1 and 2. She might have been talking about a part 2 of the live. But listen, no, the part 2 of this is my conference.
Yes.
It is August 14th
Please
through
come.
the 17th. It's going to be held here in Hampton, Georgia. And I'm telling you, God has already told me
All right.
that he said, you might as well cross out conference. This is truly going to be a revival. Truly going to be a revival. I am bringing in people from everywhere. Like we have Prophetess Sophia Ruffin. If you know her story, God has freed her, has delivered her from from lesbianism.
All right.
She is a powerful prophetic individual. She will be at the conference on Thursday night. On Thursday night, but at 5 p.m. This is why the registration is important.
Right.
You're going to be up close and personal to people that can help, people that can pray us through, people that can launch you into your next dimension. Prophetess Dr. Apostle Denise Walker will be with us on Thursday at
Yes.
5 p.m. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This woman of God has a word. She has an answer. She has a remedy. She has an
Yes.
antidote. And at 7:30, Prophetess Sophia Ruffin will be in the building. My sister Danielle, Pastor Danielle Watson is flying in from Delaware. We have them coming in from New Jersey, from
All right.
California. These people have already purchased their tickets. They are on the way to Woman Arise. And let me tell you, next week, if I can, I'm going to be back on here talking about the conference. And God gave me a revelation out of Nehemiah.
All right.
He gave me a revelation out of Nehemiah that I'm going to share on next week. That Friday of the conference coming from North Carolina is Lady Ashley McNair.
Right.
If you know her husband, Bishop Aaron McNair, is a powerful man of God, a prolific teacher. He is an amazing man of God. Church is amazing, amazing ministry in North Carolina. His wife is... she's a lethal weapon in the spirit realm. She will be here on Friday night. And at 5 p.m., Dr. Stephanie Jennings, she is my mentor.
Right.
She will be in the room. We call it the powder room.
All right.
I'm telling you, it's going to be powerful. She is a motivator. She is a midwife. She is, Pastor Stephanie is a life coach. She will push you into the next dimension. She's going to be there. And on Saturday is the Wise Women's Brunch, where we have a panel of Dr. Tanda Canyon.
Yes.
She's have traveled the world. Amazing ministry. She wrote a book about don't let the elders die with the recipe. And let me tell you, we are going to feast from wisdom from these women of God. Apostle Joanne White.
Yes.
A woman of wisdom.
Powerful.
Pastor Annie Miller.
Yes. Lord.
And of course, Apostle Dr. Janice Greer. She is on the panel as well. But just before we get off of here, the lineup is going to be crazy. People have started to register.
All right.
I mean, this thing is already blowing my mind.
I feel it.
We have the night services are free and open to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, y'all, we have partnered with the AU Center here in Atlanta.
All right.
And they are going to allow us to come on their campus and get people to come to our conference.
That's great.
All right.
Yes.
So if you want to sponsor somebody, please, please, please reach out to us. Let us know that you want to sponsor somebody. They're coming. They're coming to witness and be a part of this conference. Also, just before we get off this live, we also have a section of this conference where we are doing a complete makeover.
Okay.
We are doing a complete makeover. If you are a woman that wants a makeup, and I'm gonna release the flyer on tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm talking about hair, nails, makeup,
Sound phenomenal.
mini photo shoot. We want to build you.
All right.
We want to give you the tools to build, but we want to build you. Listen, I am so thankful tonight that you made it through the rain.
All that rain. All that
I
traffic.
told you she acting like she ain't a G. This woman taught us all how to drive. My son told me the other day, Mommy, I don't like when you eat and drive. I said, what? I said, boy, I can drive with my knee with one eye closed. She taught me how to do it. I'm telling you, every Sunday morning, Mama be killing birds and squirrels trying to get the bread before they lock the door.
But we got to church.
We did. We got to church. But I just want to thank you tonight. I just want to thank you. The subtopic of my conference is I fought to get here.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't just fight to get here. I'm fighting to stay here.
Yes.
And why? Because we belong
We
here.
belong here.
We belong here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
I
for
enjoyed
being on my
this.
live. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight, being here with
Thank
me
you
and
so
my
much.
beautiful mom. It's a blessing tonight to just have you. Y'all, she drove almost an hour
Yes, it is.
to get out here
All the way.
to McDonough, Georgia, to be with us. Hopefully we can pop back on next week if my schedule allows. My son is in training now for football agility training, so we're gonna mommy duties.
All right.
But I just want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
I just want to shout out to some people that are on the live before we leave. Apostle Joanne White is on here. I want to thank you. My Aunt Betty, Pastor Daniel Watson.
Bless
y'all,
you.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
For your. Oh my God, Pastor Daniel Watson said, Sister Teresa Hawkins is coming. She is from Delaware.
All right.
I love that woman of God.
God bless you.
My Aunt Betty, Dr. Gilstrap, Dr. Sense. I will be with her in September. Apostle, yes, I will be with her in September. Listen, y'all, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful. I'm nervous. I'm shaking in my boots. And listen, y'all, I'm dropping the cover of we're dropping the pre-sales of my new book next week. And y'all support a girl. All right, support a girl. I'm putting my heart, my soul, my life story in this book, and it's called A Healed Perspective.
I love that.
All right.
I love it.
So I am so thankful for you tonight, Apostle.
Please.
Oh, listen, y'all. The
Please,
books. Y'all, don't forget. Go support my mom.
Volume 1,
Volume 1, Volume 2, Amazon.
Graduate.
You can get it if you got Prime. You'll get it in a day or two.
Yes.
How to Graduate from People College. I do have a few copies. If you want to order it from me, I can ship it to you. I got a shipment going out on Wednesday. Y'all know I'm a jack of all trades. We shipping earrings later this week. But if you want your book shipped to you, we can get your book shipped to you this week, and you can have it by the weekend.
That's right.
So y'all come and see Apostle Greer. Yes. Y'all come and see Apostle Greer at the She Up Women's Conference.
Yes, please do.
All right. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
and have an amazing, amazing evening.
Bye-bye. Yeah, that's all good.